In this video, I'm going to be talking all about the leather bull whip we have for sale at Enso Martial Arts. I'm going to be talking about all of its features, who would use this, why you may or may not want to train with this, and at the end, I'm going to put together a short montage of people training with the bull whip. Hi, my name's Doug Swift. I've been doing martial arts for the past 34 years and been the owner of Enso Martial Arts. If you're liking this video, click the little icon, subscribe to this channel and get all the latest videos and updates from Enso Martial Arts. So let's get into this video and learn all about the leather bull whip we have for sale at Enso. So this leather bull whip is another example of how farming tools have merged into martial arts and become like a training weapon all on their own. And it's pretty easy to see this one how it would convert. Some of them are, you know, not so obvious about how they were used as farming tools, but this one is pretty obvious. In fact, I was training out in Shaolin a couple of years back, and we were like running up into the hills, and you still see farmers these days herding goats or herding sheep, and they are using whips. Now they are slightly different. I guess there's a lot of variation. Some guys will make their own, some sort of version. All you need is just a little crack to help move those animals along while moving them around. But you know, the concept is that actually whips are still used nowadays in China, in the Shaolin area. So they'll be used all over the place for people that are herding animals. So this really does have that absolute, like, from nowadays connection from farming to martial arts. Now, how they're used in martial arts and how they're used to sort of perform the skill of the person who's wielding it is pretty different to how someone would use it to herd sheep, but still the link is there between it, which is really nice to see them being used now, sort of almost behind the school where I was training, and then people are using the whips inside the school. So that's a really, really nice link. So let's have a look at the features of the bull whip. So all good ones should have a nice wooden handle, so you've got really nice good handhold so you can really hang on to the thing. Also, this gives really good rigidity while you're swinging the thing, so you've really got a nice swing on it while trying to get a nice crack or get those techniques working. Now also, it's got some red horsehair. The horsehair usually is for weapons like spears, and it's said that it helps stop the blood, very gruesome, but stop the blood running down the stick or the handle. So it diverts it. Now, I don't know how bloodied up this thing would get in a kind of fight scenario, but it still does have the horsehair on it, and actually I think it looks really, really nice on there, and it makes it look nice and martial, which is really good. And then the whip part, which is the important bit, kind of comes in three parts. So you've got this nice chunky bit with the kind of crisscross leather that goes all the way up, and it's probably about, let's see, about half the length of the total whip, and it tapers down, getting smaller and smaller all the way down to a kind of knotted point. And then you get still leather tied up, so it comes up to a nice leather point where the leather's actually just twisted almost like a double helix to another point, and then you get a knotted in bit of rope on the end bit, and then with a knot and a loop on the end, and that's the bit that makes the crack. So you've got quite a chunky whip that goes right down to a very small point and makes a really, really nice cracking sound. So yeah, very, very good for martial arts whip training. Perfect, in fact. People who train with these are gonna kind of be admired in some respects and also hated in other respects. One, it's very, very noisy. Now, if you've ever been in the class when someone's training whips, it's an absolute nightmare. One, you know, there's pretty long reach. This thing's about 7 foot long, so you think they've got to have at least a 15-foot radius around them wherever they are. Whip forms also, they're moving about quite a bit, so you do tend up to take over the entire class. Also, the risk of getting hit with the whip, the fact that it makes a really loud cracking sound, and then it's really going to hurt if you get hit with that whip. It's really not good. So it's very impressive to watch, amazing at demos, amazing for competitions, really, really good. You don't see it that often, but if someone's training in class, if you're training with it, you're not going to make a lot of friends. You know, it's quite a scary thing to be around in a class. So if you are training it, if you are starting out with it, just be mindful of that. Make sure you've got loads and loads of room, or even just go out into like a park or find a field somewhere that you can just go and train on your own. It's not a very sociable weapon. It's not one of those weapons that you're going to make a lot of friends with. Now you do get double whips as well, so if you are interested in doing double whips, then you will need to buy 2 of these, of course. Now again, double whips adds a whole extra level of difficulty. One, you're having to do the same techniques with your left hand. People always have like a worse side, and you've got the 2 things going together. So yeah, a lot of chance of like whipping yourself, whacking yourself. So yeah, take it pretty easy. It is one of those more advanced weapons for Kung Fu, so people don't tend to get onto it later. And also, because of the rarity, there's not that many instructors that know how to use these. So it's one of those ones that you're probably going to have to request. You might even have to take a special trip to China to specifically learn how to do it. Now you'll probably find that quite a lot of Kung Fu styles have the bull whip in them. Like I said, it comes from a farming background, so it's likely that a bull whip would have existed in a lot of Kung Fu styles all over the place. The problem is not a lot of instructors would have got onto it. Even in China, a lot of instructors may not have got onto it. So it's just one of those weapons that's just really hard to find, and really you're going to look for a specialist if they know this. Now you do see it a lot in Shaolin, so if you're doing Shaolin training, you're more likely to find someone that's doing it. But yeah, like I said, it does exist in a lot of styles. The lengths of the whips will vary, and like obviously the forms and how they're used will vary. But if you've really got your heart set on learning this, Shaolin's probably the most obvious place to go. So just give you an idea of some of the dimensions. I'll put all the dimensions on the website, so if you want to know way more about it, then that's probably the best place to go. But I'll just give you the full length for this thing, so you've got an idea. So yeah, in fact, I did a pretty good guess earlier. It comes in at almost exactly 7 feet or 213 centimeters. So yeah, if you are training, you need to make a lot of space. So at Enso Martial Arts, we do pride ourselves quite a lot. We're pretty smug about the fact that we have quite a lot of fairly rare Kung Fu weapons at Enso Martial Arts. So as well as the leather bull whip, we also have metal fans, wind and fire wheels, and 3 sizes of iron rings, melon hammers, bamboo shields, and the just as dangerous double meteor hammers. So I've never actually trained bull whips, and I really don't fancy it having a go with it in this shop. I'll just destroy far too many things. So I thought I'd put together a montage of people training with the bull whips. Thanks very much for watching. I hope it was useful. I hope you learned loads about the leather bull whip we have for sale at Enso. If you like this video, click the little icon and subscribe to this channel and get all the latest videos from Enso Martial Arts. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon. Cheers!